Welcome back to the Zmonster channel, and yes, we are going to be doing a garden update video for the end of October of 2021. It'll also be a little bit of a harvest video too, because we're picking some items. But I did want to cover some of what we still have growing right now. The mornings have been getting, well, nights and mornings have been getting a little more chilly out. But it's still getting into the 70s and 80s during the day. So it's, you can see a beautiful day out here in South Carolina. We're going to start out here by the outside fig trees. You can see where we had all of this mulched down on the side here, all the way up to the creek bed here. And then we had it bush hogged just a couple weeks ago on top of that to try and, break it down a little bit more. We still have to rake all this stuff off into the woods and try and get it a little level so that the grass, which you can see wants to try and come through, but then we get all the poison oak and the dewberry and stuff that wants to grow through too. So we have to keep all that down, and we're going to be, like I said, once we rake all the sticks up, we'll actually be able to mow the area. But there's some areas where the tractor, that the little bobcat type of thing that came in that did the bush hogging, just kind of tore up the ground a little bit, so we have to rake all these areas flat. And then once we rake all the brush and stuff and these bigger sticks off of here, we'll be able to see where there's holes that need to be filled as well. Like I can see a pretty big one over here. I don't know if you guys can, but at least now we can get through here, because as you remember, the bushes, the dewberry and everything else was just kept encroaching onto the garden here, and it was all the way up to here, and we knocked it down. So it's probably 25 feet, 20 to 25 feet to this bigger, thicker tree that you see here, all the way out to where it was at. So that's a substantial amount. When they came out to do the bush hogging, we had them bush hog a little bit more around the corner here to widen that area out there. And that's helpful for us because we actually travel into the woods right here to get to a deer stand. So that's a plus. We're going to start off here with the fig trees, big bushes as they are, because as you can see, they're not as tall as me, but they are growing some figs. And my wife picks figs off of them almost every day and gets them. And I wanted to get out here before she got to them. And you can see right here, here's 3 beauties. And those are some edible figs. There's another one on that one there. So this particular tree is producing really well for the edibles. This one's a little bit slower. I mean, I do see some figs on it, but they're not popping up as quick as possible. And then over here, we had the peach tree way over there. We had to take that out because it died for some reason. And we planted a different tree here. What is this tree? Is that what you planted? Okay. This is a chestnut tree that we're growing from scratch. So hopefully that grows. That'll be nice. Along the fence here on the inside, we of course have the grape trellises. So they're pretty much dying back, as you can see. I mean, they still have some leaves on them, but they are dying back. And we're going to be trimming them back and getting ready for winter out here. It's one of the unique things about the differences between California, where we used to live, and out here is there is 4 seasons out here. So we have time to different times where we have to do stuff. If you're growing out in California, you're gonna pretty much stop growing, trim everything back, and start again. Out here you have transitions into different planting cycles, and you can start stuff at the beginning of certain seasons, and so that they end before the next season, before it turns to winter. And yeah, it's a whole bunch of craziness, which I'll kind of explain as we see some of the new plants we have in the ground. But for the grapes, you can see where we have them kind of wired. There's wires lined up through here with the boards, and here's the wires. And what we do is I'm trying to get these trained to come all the way up and then to run along here when they're growing. So we have to trim all these back, and we just keep the main thick stalks coming all the way up to here. So I'll just clip all this stuff off here so that next year it'll start and go off in all these directions. And we do the same thing with all of the newer ones. We'll just trim all the offshoots out and just try and train it to grow up, and then that way that just covers and makes a nice canopy, which protects all the berries or the grapes for next season. These two here, of course, are our seedless ones. We did not eat any of the grapes that were grown this year off of these two. We're trying to get them to grow nicely first and establish themselves, and they seem to be doing okay. This little one here and this seeded one over here not growing as well as the two on the outside, so I don't know if it's something that's within the corner here that we have to address some soil issues or not, but we'll definitely look into that. The rest of this particular area of the garden here is where we do all of our vining types of fruit, vegetables, and everything else. But since it's not that part of the season anymore, we don't have any watermelons and melons and all that kind of stuff growing right now. We have probably the end of its cycle here, this perilla leaf. We have a lot of these flowering flower bushes here, and it's because we still have a lot of bees and a lot of butterflies. I don't know if you can see them all flying around here. A lot of bees and a lot of butterflies still out here, and they are happily pollinating and doing their job out here in the garden, which is good because we have plants that we planted that will flower and will probably need some of their attention. We have still our lemongrass pods throughout the garden too. My wife is using those for teas and stuff like that. Of course, we walked past our larger fig tree here. Also has figs on it. You've seen one fig tree, you've seen them all, right? Well, maybe not. This one's getting pretty tall up here, but yeah, we are getting figs on it, which is nice. Back in here hiding, which I'll have to trim back the fig tree, but we have our blackberries bushes here. That doesn't sound right. Blackberries, blueberries, that's what it is. There's one of them other colors, blueberries. And so we have those two here, and yeah, this one looks like it's kind of dying, unfortunately, so we may have to pull it out and start a new one, which is good because we probably want to do a raspberry one with the blueberries again because they seem to be happy. But now that the fig tree is getting so big, it blocks these bushes during this season because the sun comes across right over here, as you can see, and across and behind these trees, which means the fig tree is blocking the sun from there. But during the middle of summer, instead of the sun coming up over here, the sun comes up almost straight overhead for us, and it lights and keeps the sun on these for the whole day, and this tree has no effect on it. So you have to look into those things when you're planting stuff for the garden, for stuff that stays in annually. Another lemongrass thing here. Let me walk over here and get to our boxes. Some people like this stuff, some people don't, I don't know. But this is our asparagus. We still have it growing, and some of it will seed up, some of it will just cut off at the ground level for winter, and it'll sprout back up just like this next year. It's awesome. But it does take some time to establish itself. It takes 4 or 5 years to get it established good to where it grows some good asparagus amounts, but we have enough to where my wife eats it. It's not something I eat. She did plant a lettuce cluster in here. Cabbage in here. And I wanted to kind of get in here and just show you the asparagus. And it is growing. It is growing in there. And it is nice and nice. All right, let's go over here so we can see what we got.
Root of beet. I bought the store.
So this is a beetroot that we cut the top greens off and made juice out of, and she buried the bottoms, the bulbs, and they are now producing again, so we will be able to eat greens again, from what I've been told. So, and there's a lot of them in there. And then we do have our red leaf lettuce, little ones that are starting here. Yes, I know it's getting into it's harvest time right now, and it's going to be getting even colder into winter, but it's something that we can actually still grow out here, especially if we keep it covered, which we do over here like this. We have our strawberry plants out. We're trying to get them uncovered. Even with they were covered, they were getting eaten by bugs. You can see the leaves have holes in them and stuff, and you can see a lot of the plants just died back. It's just the critters that we have, unfortunately. We tried covering it, we tried everything, tried spraying it with the different organic things that you find on YouTube and stuff, like everybody says the Dawn soap or baking sodas and all this different stuff. We've even tried like neem oils and all this other organic types of things. That works on certain plants. It hasn't worked on these. I am a strawberry lover, and unfortunately we can't get these to grow properly right now. The first 2 years we were here, if you go back and watch some of our videos, you'll see we had strawberries no problem. We decided to put them in these boxes, and now for some reason they're just not doing as well. This box and this box are both supposed to be strawberries, but we can't get enough strawberries to grow to make the babies to put them over here to get another box started on there. But it's ready, and we'll stop as soon as we can. Also, the elephant in the room, the tomato plant that we are growing a tomato plant at the end of October, and you can see it is flowered and it has little tomatoes on here, and we're going to let this bad boy go because it's happy. Okay, this is actually one of our compost piles that we made inside this box, and it's really good compost. And when my wife is replanting a plant, she'll come over here, grab some of this soil, mix it with good dirt and other cool stuff, and it makes good soil. She thought, okay, since it's sitting here composting down anyway and we're not using it right now, she planted some stuff in here. So this is cilantro, parsley. Parsley. I am horrible at my vegetables today. Oh man, I'm unfortunately on some medication right now that makes me dizzy, and I can't remember my name right now. That's a whole nother video. But yeah, parsley. I think there was even some starter carrots in here at one time, but that's what we got growing there. There's our farm dog, Epony. She's happily sniffing everything. Luckily she didn't sniff her butt on camera. That's probably good. We'll start over here. This was where we started our bed of bell peppers for the season. In here was just like 100 starter plants of bell peppers for when we started the season off. My wife thinned them out and took them and planted them in other spots in the garden. Some over here, some over there. But some of them that started growing really well, we just left them here. That's why you can see they're not in any real pattern. They're just kind of popped up everywhere here. These are still producing some really nice bell peppers. We're waiting for a lot of them. We try to wait for them to change color, but they're getting attacked by critters. So we have to come out here every single day. My wife comes out here, turns over a lot of the leaves to see if there's worms on the bottom of them, which are what eats the leaves. And it also, they burrow holes or lay the eggs inside of the bell pepper, and then the worms hatch inside the bell pepper, eat their way out and infect the plant. And so it has to constantly get out here and get on those. But this is our starter area. There's probably only about 15 or 20 smaller plants, and they are smaller because they're so close together over here. We do have a couple of bigger ones that have more space, but that's what's over there. This is our main bell pepper area. I joke and tell my wife that she probably has 30 to 40 plants over here, and she says, no way. I'll guarantee you she's got more than she thinks over here. Because I mean, I can count 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then there's still 6 or 7 more rows of 8. So you do the math, there's at least 30. Had a tomato plant here. It's dying back because the critters got to it. We're just going to let it go. This here particular bell pepper one, you can see it kind of got snapped off. The wind has caught a couple of the plants, and any branch that hangs over the metal edge of the baskets here, it'll blow and it'll snap it off on there for some reason. So we tried to put strings up. We tried to do all this other support stuff to keep them standing up nice. Some of them have the bigger cages, which is good. You can see in there there's some really nice bell peppers still growing in there. And in here, I want to show you this one. And if I can get my shadow off of it, you can see there's a little black mark here. This is what the start of where they're going to try to burrow a hole in for the worms. So we have to watch out for that kind of stuff. But there is, like I said, bell peppers for days here. And we're trying to find what we're going to do with all these. We took some to the flea markets that we travel to, and we were selling them up there, and did some good business on them. You know, people aren't used to us bringing out the fresh veggies all the time, but we do it occasionally when we have an excess from doing whatever canning or eating that we're going to be doing. We have filled up a freezer with diced up ones of these. We're starting to can them now too, so that we can get them out of the freezer, because we need to make room for hopefully some venison meat here shortly, if once I can get out and go hunting again. And then my favorite area here is along the fence here, we have all of our jalapeno plants, and we have picked I think we picked approximately 20 pounds of jalapenos, and took a bunch to the flea markets, and we're selling them in like 1 pound bags or something like that for $1. And yeah, they were selling good. People were loving them. And like I said, we are not growing, you know, little tiny jalapenos. These are bigger ones. They are not super hot. Every once in a while you'll get a hot one, but not too often. These are like mild to medium. Let me get in here and see some other ones. You get some nice fatter ones. And like I said, we picked through a bunch, trying to see which ones we have left over here. Yeah, they're all kind of all different shapes. Trying to get in the sun so you can see it better. We do get some that are really, really big. And then we do get the shorter, fat ones, you know, because everybody is different on how they like their jalapenos. For us, we like to wait for them to start to crack. You can see a nice red one in here. Let me get the camera on there, and you can see it's starting to get these brown cracks on them. That's when you want to try to pick them. My wife is waiting for these to turn like red, and some even turn black. And that's the way that she wants to pick them, so that she can roast them. Here's another one over here. You can see the little cracking to it. So that's ready to be picked, even though it's not super big yet. Now, so, like I said, some of them get really big. See, these are starting to crack. That is just that looks like a pregnant one there. But that'll make a nice jalapeno popper. We got one here. Oh, it's a little baby dead one. All right, we got more here. And it's still loaded. The plant is still loaded, but it is not flowering anymore. So that tells us that we're not going to be getting a whole bunch more than what is already on here. And we have to start to think, what are we going to do with the jalapenos that are on the plants? Now this one is still doing its thing, which we're not sure why. None of the other ones are flowering still, but this one. So we're hoping this one's going to produce for a while longer, unless the cold weather in the mornings gets to it. More jalapenos here, and then another bell pepper plant way over there. This, of course, is the cassia seed. If you have not seen the cassia seed video, we made one on that too. Cassia seeds are a tea pod. So this one here is probably just about ready, but this plant grows. It grows these kind of pods. You wait for it to dry out like this. You split this open, and inside here is probably could be anywhere from 15 to 20 little seeds inside here. Now, if you drop the seeds on the ground, you're going to get a cassia seed plant growing there next year, because you can't find that seed. So we cut these off when they get brown like this, finish drying them out, and snap all the seeds out of them. And my wife makes tea and stuff out of them. So it's a really good thing. It's an Asian thing. It's Asian remedy for some things. So if you're into that, very easy plant to grow. Like I said, you just drop the seed on the ground and it grows pretty much for our particular area. Consult your local gardening person for advice on that. But for us, yeah, we just dropped some seeds and poof, it popped up. Anyway, we're going around the bell pepper village here, and you can see there's about as many bell pepper plants here as I told you. And we'll cover more over there. I want to cover what we're doing in the plants here. We've got, well, besides my shadow, which you don't need to see, we have planted broccoli and cauliflower. Or is it just broccoli? Broccoli. Okay, so all the green spots that you see, well, there's bigger leaves here. So you can see the broccoli here. Bugs started eating them as soon as we planted them in the ground. And yes, we planted these in the ground at the beginning of October. Why? Because this is a plant that, for our area, says that it'll grow, and we will be able to get it matured and get broccoli hopefully by December. We will see. If the bugs stop eating the plants, then we will definitely see. So yeah, we got broccoli in here, and then along here, cross over here, and over here we got cauliflower. Show you these up close. You can see the holes in the leaves. That's because the critters are eating them. Now there was cauliflower all along here, and you can see there's only a few left in here because the bugs got to them. Now we have sprayed these with the like I said, organic bug spraying stuff, and it just has not worked. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. And then over here we've got okra, we've got more perilla leaves, and then we got more bell pepper plants over there. So let me show you those. And before we get to the end thing here, I want to show you the Asian pepper plants, which we have, I think, 3 of those that are in here right now. And these are producing nicely. Now these peppers will be hotter than some of the jalapenos, depending on how long you let them stay on the vine. But if you've been to any Asian restaurant, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, whatever it may be, Philippine, all of them, they use these peppers. And if we don't use them all, we may end up like taking these to one of those Asian markets that are local to us and see if they want to buy some from us. Even some of the Mexican markets may buy some of these from us because of the heat that they produce. It's a different type of heat, different flavor than jalapenos, so some people like that. And then, of course, like I told you, besides just a garden update video, this is harvest day for us. So this is the sweet potato area that we had, and we are pulling up. These are all the vines from them, and I'm going to take some of the vines, put them out for the deer, but we are actually currently in harvest mode. As you can see here, let me get on this side here. My wife is currently digging up and we only put 5 or 6 plants in the ground. And so let me show you some of the sizes of these sweet potatoes that we got here. And these are actually some smaller ones. I'm going to show you some more, and at the end of the video, some that we harvested yesterday or the day before, I can't remember now, that may impress you even more. But this is one plant. And here's another plant. Now that'll be a good judge one there. Let me put that one down next to my foot. Okay? Next to the dog's head. Yeah, that will make something. That'll feed a family of 5 right there. That's a big yam or sweet potato. Now, as you can see, some of these have different colors on the outside, but these are all white on the inside. We didn't grow any purple.
That's orange.
But we have regular white ones. We have, like you can see, this one here is these are all just considered yams to us, and these are considered sweet potatoes because they're more of the Asian ones. But this is purple on the outside but white on the inside. These are orange on the outside and white on the inside. And then we do have some that are going to be orange and kind of orangey that everybody knows as yams on the inside as well. But we are just growing a few plants here. Ooh, that's a nice big one. Let me scroll down through here. She started digging some up here. We have to loosen up the soil And all we did is pull the plant up, but you can see, you know, the yams are, oh wow, that's already big. That's a monster. And we just pulled the plant up out of the ground. You can see there's a plant there, a plant here, and there was a plant here, and you can see the yams are just right there on the surface. All we did was pull the plants back and kind of clip them back, and we had to dig up the entire area. Because all right, sorry, camera battery died. We are still in the processes of digging up. Digged up some more nice purple ones out here. But then this is what you guys missed while I was inside digging another camera. All of these here is what we've got. And this is just the ones from pulling the plant up from the surface. For the most part, she's dug down some distance to get some of them, but not super deep yet. So we're going to get all these ones that we see here first, and get them loaded up in the wheelbarrow. And then if we have to, we'll get the other digging devices to get down in there a little bit deeper and see if there's some hiding down in there deeper. Plus we have to kind of cover the other area here to see if they grew out or out from their main area here. Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a good harvest. Plus we have already harvested some other ones, so I'm going to show you those, as well as some of the bell peppers that we harvested over the last couple days as well, while I've been under the weather. So stay tuned for that. All right, finished picking all the yams out of that row and put them in the wheelbarrow. And this is not a small wheelbarrow. I don't know if the camera does it justice, but this is a big a big wheelbarrow, and it is full, absolutely full. There's my phone compared to some of these ones here, and there's all different sizes in here. Whew. God, now we got to figure out what we're going to do with them. Okay, this is day one. Yesterday or 2 days ago, the first sweet potatoes or yams, whichever you want to prefer to call them, that we have picked for the season. And I wanted to show you those because there's some good monsters that were in that batch too. And yeah, these are pretty nice. Now we actually did have a couple of bigger ones that we actually gave away at church. We do like to give our first fruits to the pastor or pastors at our church. We have several pastors and retired pastors, and we like to support them. One of the other things that my wife is going to try is she is picking the flowers from the bushes in the garden, daisies or whatever kind of flowers they are, I can't even remember now. And going to dry them out and make some tea, I believe is the plan. So we'll see how that works. I'm going to go inside and show you some more harvest. All right, this is the colorful harvest now. These are the bell peppers that we have picked. You can see all different colors of the rainbow here, and you don't know because they all start off green, but then they'll start changing color, and you got to pick them when they start changing color. So we got the orange, we got some red ones, we got green ones, we got yellow ones, we got some that are confused and they're both colors. But no, that's not all. We've got more. We've got plenty more in the kitchen here. Some of these, yeah, these are really nice, and some of these are nicer and bigger sized ones too. I mean, that would make a nice good stuffed bell pepper right there. Well, any of these would, any one would. They all taste good. But let me see, you can see down there's another one that's trying to change color here. So this one is probably going to be an orange one, and you can just let them sit, and they will change color inside your house. Don't let them sit too long because they could start to get mushy and stuff. We also have this one here. Here you go. That's what you got to watch out for. This one here had it's considered a fungus or a disease for bell pepper, so you have to watch out for this. But as you can see, there's a hole there. So if we were to rip this one open, this one may actually have those little army worms inside there. So they may have gotten inside this one and hatched. So I'm going to put that one aside. But all the rest of these look okay on the surface for right now. Do we have here's one that's turning yellow down in there. It's going to be a nice pretty one. I just love the vibrant colors of it, and that they turn into, and it's really good, really nice. Oh, there's a nice big one there. And some of these we got were really huge, big ones. I mean, for me, this is better than a jack-o'-lantern. I mean, I'd cut a little face out on that and do something up. And that's one of the things we do with it. But we also made some breakfast with some of the bell peppers and some of the yams. Just wanted to kind of show you that. All of the orange is the yams. We put a little bit of somebody had killed a deer and they made some sausage out of it and gave us some, so we figured we'd throw that in there. But we got green bell peppers and the yams and their meat and some onions. Everything else we grew in the garden except for the meat. So yeah, but that's the kind of thing you can do with this if you have you know, the garden. So that's what we did there. This is the leftover, some of the leftover jalapeno bags that we were selling at the flea market. We only have like 4 left out of, I think we had 15 or 20 bags like this. And yeah, there's quite a few in there for, and we were just selling these bags for like $1 at the flea market just to draw people into our table. And yeah, they were buying them up really good. This is dried okras. We let them grow big and then dry out because it's got seeds in there. So now we have seeds for next year. We did keep out some of the red jalapenos that are cracking nice. This is the ones that my wife wants to roast and we're going to can. So we've got several of those in the freezer. And so we've got all that kind of stuff going in there. But let me show you. Oop, had my hand over the lens. That's not good. This is the freezer. Hopefully you can see all the colors of the rainbow in there. Everything up here is vegetables. These are all vegetables. Bell peppers, asparagus. I mean, you can see we bought a bag of peas here. We weren't growing any peas, but everything else in there is stuff that we grew. All of these down here, the same thing. These are all already seasoned ones, like tomatoes. She's already stewed them or pickled them, or you know, however she wanted to prepare them, and then we just add these things to different containers. Again, up here, more broccolis and stuff like that. The only things that are in packages in here is going to be a little bit of meat. Got some chicken. This is our berry mix for our smoothies because we're on a diet, because I'm apparently a fat pig and I need to. And then lima beans, which I don't eat, so that's why they're still there. And yeah, but that's what we do with all this cool stuff. Back to the kitchen. And yes, this is the best harvest we've had, but we of course are doing mainly bell peppers. But hopefully you guys liked the video. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Hopefully I didn't go too long-winded, although I'm sure I did. Yes, like, share, subscribe, all that again. And as always, we will talk to you later.